cannot save everyone. That's something that was a bitter pill to swallow for me. I traced it back to when my mum wasn't very well when I was in my teens, where I seen my mum who, was struggling with depression and anxiety, and I couldn't help her. So as a teenager, I had that frustration where my mum wasn't always there for me, and I don't blame her for that. It just is what it is. But at the time when you're young, you don't always get it. But at the same time, I couldn't help her either. And I think that put me on a bit of a path. Around that time, that's when I changed my attitude around exercise and diet, or what I thought was a good diet at the time, which of course wasn't, but you only go with what you know. But I started training, I started running the cross countries at school. I went from loathing them to looking forward to them because they were a challenge. I started martial arts at 15. And I pushed myself every day. Even when I wasn't at classes, I trained at home for 2 hours every day. I moved my mum and dad's furniture around every day. I wanted to be the best version of me. And I set about it with complete focus. I got a weight bench. I started lifting weights. Got a heavy bag, put it in the garage, started hitting the heavy bag. It was just something every day that I was doing. But at that time I didn't realise it was to do with the fact that I didn't want to suffer like my mum had. And that was my story. And I carried that for a long time. Even when Joy was ill during her pregnancy, it was the same thing. I tried to help her. I read book after book. This is when my nutrition knowledge just exploded. I contacted nutritionists. I read book. I wrote, emailed, spoke to the authors of these books. I read about trauma. I read about how the brain works. I read about lots and lots of things, and that's continued to this day because I'm fascinated by it. But I understand the potential of what health truly means, and just getting your nutrition right and getting your mind right has massive, massive consequences to your health and well-being, more than most people even realise. But what I realised, especially when I started the fitness business, when I was helping other people live their best lives, or trying to anyway, I was trying to save everybody. Had that superhero syndrome going on, where I took it personally or badly if I couldn't help them, or they didn't believe in themselves. So I always remember a quote from Dax Moy, one of my coaches, a good friend. My belief is greater than your doubt. And that's true, because I believe everyone can help themselves, everyone can improve themselves, everyone can be a better version of themselves, only if they take that on board and do it. My downfall was trying to help everybody, even people who may have claimed they want to be helped, but they didn't want to be helped, because you can't help people who don't want to be helped. When I heard that was a bit of a bitter pill, because I was constantly trying to help my mum, even all those years, all the time. But I realised that she didn't want to be helped, not subconsciously anyway. I'm not saying she wouldn't want to feel better, but I think she was stuck in that whole stories and condition of where she was. And yet I kept trying to help, and then she wasn't, doing the things to suggest, and I got really frustrated by it. And then it started happening with their clients that I was working with. I knew they could do it, but they couldn't get out of their own way, and I didn't understand that. But I knew it was more than nutrition, I knew it was more than exercise. So I started looking at the neuroscience. Brain set, not mindset. Your brain has to be in the right frame, if you like, or working in the right way, not feeling threat or stress, for us to then access the mind. So brain comes first. And here's the irony of that. I knew all about that. I studied about fear, studied about anxiety, studied about trauma. And I thought I had a handle on it. But I didn't realise that I was pushing my true self away, not facing and turning inwards. Not realising that I had, an abandonment story, which I found out recently. When I realised I couldn't save everybody, I turned it around and thought, okay, I can only ever save myself. I can't control anybody else. I can't save anybody else. I can only save me. And then talk about how I save me, which is what I do on these videos every day. And if it resonates with somebody, then yes, I can help them too. But only if we resonate, we connect, we're on the same frequency. Then I'm willing to invite them to challenge their own stories, own beliefs, because I know I can't do it for them. All I can do is be there to support them, side by side, and show people it's okay, and challenge their stories. So, the realization of not being able to save everyone was really, really important for me, because I relaxed. I didn't have to do this because I couldn't. It wasn't down to me, it was down to everybody else. All I could be is the best version of me and tell people what I believed would allow them to live their best life, which is what I'm working on, my path. And if that's cool, then we can have a conversation. If not, that's cool as well. Till tomorrow.